What's up, people? It's us again, the Cohen brothers, also known as the Cobros. This is MC on the mic. That is
The Tico Fantasy Show. What's
the
going on?
Tico Fantasy Show. Um, I was envious of you this weekend because I know you were in the Keys, and I love the Keys so much. How the hell was it?
Oh, I was just chilling, my brother. I was chilling. I was sitting in the sun the whole time, did absolutely nothing, drank a little bit, chilled, ate, just good old relaxation.
Now, did you eat some key lime pie?
I did eat some key lime pie. That's the you
Boom!
got to eat some key lime pie when
Yeah.
you go to the Keys, my brother. That's the thing.
Was it good? Now, did you eat key lime pie dipped in chocolate on a stick? Because that's my jam. Oh,
I've
you
never
don't know
heard of that.
about
I've
this.
never heard of that. Never heard of that. That's a new one.
Listen, you're younger than me. You don't know all the wonders of the world. One of the wonders of the world is in the Keys somewhere you can buy. It's probably one of the campgrounds, but you can buy a piece of cheesecake with basically a shish kebab stick in it and the whole thing dunked in chocolate.
Oh,
It's
oh,
sacred. It's a
oh.
religious experience to say
It
the
sounds
least.
religious. I love cheesecake, man. I had some cheesecake while I was there, but I didn't have cheesecake like that. That's
I
crazy.
meant did I say cheesecake? I meant key lime pie.
Oh, well,
Listen, if they had cheesecake on a stick, that's also a good one. I'm sure
you said
somebody.
cheesecake.
Well, don't listen to what I say. Listen to what I mean.
Yo, I gotta apologize though.
Do it.
I gotta apologize. You asked me, my nephew wanted to see some pictures of iguanas,
And you
and I'll tell
failed.
you right now, they're lying to you because I did not see a single iguana the entire time I was there. They are lying to you. There ain't no iguanas out there.
Well, listen, you're going to have to reach out to Coyote Peterson, who does this kids show called Brave Wilderness on YouTube. And this guy was in the Keys. I'm 98% sure it was the Keys, and there were iguanas. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they're
So,
in like a specific area because I just did not see a single one, not a
or
single
maybe
iguana.
you were sitting around drinking and relaxing, not hunting on iguanas, you know?
Yeah, that could be it too. That could be it.
I'm not mad at you either way, but my kid was gonna disown you because you didn't send him a
I'll
picture of
find
iguana.
there's way more iguanas at home. I'll find an iguana at home.
You better prove it.
They're up and down the streets here. There's so many more iguanas at home than there are
Why
in
are
the
there so many iguanas in Florida now? There wasn't like that when I was growing up.
because people keep them as pets and then they release them into the Everglades and then they've been doing that for 20 years now and now they've been breeding and doing their own thing and now they've mass produced them.
I've heard that in the cold months they freeze in trees and fall on people and kill them.
Yeah,
What's wrong with Florida? Why can't it get it right?
I mean, it never gets cold enough in Florida for them to for that to ever really happen. But the one day of the year when it does happen. You find them like out in the street and they're just like petrified.
I feel like it doesn't have to get that cold because those things are cold-blooded, right? So they need a lot of
I think
heat
so.
to warm
Yeah.
up. So if it's like 60 outside, it's too cold for them.
Yeah. I've only seen it like once or twice, but they just like turn into a little petrified. They just freeze and go down.
Poor iguanas. Speaking of lizards, I brought Pete the cat outside. I've been walking him along with Zero in the yard, and he comes outside and he just chases lizards and then he eats them alive, whole, swallows them, doesn't even chew them up, no blood, swallows the whole thing, still wiggling. The other day, he finishes eating his lizard. He goes to start eating grass. He eats too much grass. He pukes up a full lizard. It was dead, unfortunately. I felt horrible for it. He pukes up a full lizard, and I felt terrible for the thing, but you can't get in the way of nature. You know, I got a
That's
wild
Mother
cat.
Nature right there. Yeah, that's Mother Nature at its finest.
Bro, there's a lot going on. I know we kind of like talked off camera about talking about some pop culture things. There's so many things I was just scanning across going on in the world that are awesome. Number one, Beyonce's new album, dog.
Haven't listened to it, but I did hear about it.
Oh
I
shit.
watched SNL for a second, and that was like the main thing they were talking about on SNL. That was all they could talk about was Beyonce's new album.
And then it just so happens to be that a good friend of mine who I met on a stage I was doing a supernatural convention. She came on stage. I host a karaoke party. She came on stage. Her name is Raina Roberts. She's singing on one of the tracks.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
That's dope.
she's like red-haired African American country star, gorgeous, beautiful. Macklin fell in love with her like 2 weeks ago. He met her in person here at a convention, and she didn't tell me. Obviously, I'm sure there was some sort of clause that she's not allowed to talk about Beyonce's album, but I saw her and I had no idea. I know that she's her country career has taken off, but I had no idea she was on the Beyonce album. And there I see her credited on one of the songs. It's amazing. But
Good for her.
dude, Beyonce got a song with Miley Cyrus. You know I'm a Miley Cyrus fanboy over here.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now, do your generation a favor and become a Miley Cyrus fanboy. It is,
I
she
used to
is,
be once upon a time
bro,
Hannah
she's
Montana
better now
fan.
than she's ever been in her whole career. She's so good. Her writing is so amazing. Her vocals are so just, they tell a story. Like they say for men as actors, you get older and you become more interesting just because the wrinkles on your face tell more stories and it's just an interesting look. Well, Miley, still gorgeous, still beautiful. Her voice with every line tells a story now. And I just love that. I know her like mentor is Dolly Parton and she's such a queen amongst
Yeah.
queens, right? She's not average amongst the not average. She's like a superstar and you can just tell her influence on Miley and it's just awesome. And Beyonce crushing it. Just she's crushing it. And I
Yeah,
don't
thank you.
know where this album came from or why, but I dig it and I love it and yo, what's up with Puff Daddy? What did he do? He's in big trouble.
Uh,
I don't think we're allowed to talk about it because it's so hot topic. But this dude,
Sean B going wild right now. No
yeah,
Diddy.
yeah. Did he? I don't know, man. But there are some conspiracy theories out there. There's some wild shit going on around
Apparently he's
that
in
man's neck.
Miami. Apparently he's in Miami. That's what they're. I saw a video.
Bro, I'm like hesitant to even mention his name because I don't know if somebody's gonna come knocking on my door, man, trying to I don't know. I don't know what he's into, but listen, for a long time I listened to his music and now I feel like I'm not allowed to anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like everything he's ever done now. Everything has like a question mark now. It's
right.
it's it's very interesting and not
Yeah.
yeah
I'm
interesting.
excited to see how it unfolds. I hope that whoever did wrong gets treated how they're supposed to get treated, and whoever's a victim and whatever. Um, but it's wild. There's some wild
Yeah,
stuff going on. All right, moving on to another thing. And this is just I just woke up this morning and like I'm in between I have like 15 different movie projects. I'm in the middle of pitching and creating and
sheesh.
developing. And then there are all these pop culture things. Number one being, have you seen the movie Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton?
The original, yeah,
There is a sequel and there is a
sequel.
trailer, and it's got the whole same cast, Catherine O'Hara, Michael Keaton, all of them, and with the addition of your homegirl that you love so much, Miss Ortega from Wednesday.
Oh, that's so fitting. That's so
And
fitting.
she
Speaking of,
plays the daughter of Winona Ryder. I believe it's a daughter. I mean, they look like they're.
yeah, that's
And
the role for her. Yeah,
bro, the trailer looks so good. Such a big Michael Keaton fan. Beetlejuice really defined like such a like when I was a young
yeah.
guy. It was like the first like adult kind of scary horror comedy I got into. And man, Michael Keaton is back. And in the trailer, like he like rises up as Beetlejuice, and he's like, "The juice is loose," and I'm
Does he
like.
look like? There's got to be a lot of makeup there. That's
Yeah, but he's, I don't know if you remember what he looked like. He's all white and like rotting with
He's
like,
all beat up and yeah, it's
it's the
yeah.
same, dude. He's
Dude,
back.
I used to be frightened to death of Beetlejuice when I was younger. I was like, can't say his name three times. Oh no.
And you know what the movie's called?
What?
You ready
Juice
for it?
Beetle?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh man, they're just trying to scare kids, man.
yes, that's
Ain't right.
amazing. Come on. And I think, have you seen the movie? I think it was called Megan on Netflix about a
With the
doll.
doll? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
haven't
was
seen it,
sitting,
but heard of it.
I saw like the trailer and a couple of clips from it, and I thought you and I should co-write a kids movie based on the torturous events that took place between you and I and that 3.5 foot Barbie doll that I haunted you
We
with.
could write a whole horror movie about that. That's very easy to do.
Oh man. There's another movie I
Haunted
saw
me.
called
So many good movies coming out right now. The movie industry's booming right now.
it really is. It's booming, but it seems like nobody in Hollywood's working, unfortunately. It's such a weird landscape out here. There's all these movies. This before we press forward, I wanted to bring up this movie with Ryan Reynolds because I've been circling like kids movies. I really want to do something with kids, whether I'm directing or acting. I want it to be kid involved. Obviously, Macklin's about to turn 9, so my whole life is just kids. And there's this movie called If, and it stands for Imaginary Friends, and it's
Saw
got
the
Ryan.
trailer.
Dude, it looks so good and fun. And
Yeah.
man, Ryan Reynolds just he knocks it out of the park so hard on everything he does.
Dude's funny. Dude's a comedian. Dude's
You
funny.
you have a lot of his energy where he's like here for it. He's got a good spirit and he's always fun to be around. So, dude, I think we should develop a kids movie that is a horror comedy based on some sort of doll that comes to life via a sci-fi moment in the movie, but it's all like so what happens is, all right, I'm going to pitch it cuz it's coming to me right now. So what happens is there's these two brothers and the one brother buys the other younger brother.
How old are these brothers?
These brothers are our age because we got to play them if we're going to make a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how
yeah,
young can I
yeah,
play? Like if I really
yeah.
make them on, can I pass for 30? I think I could pull 30s or
We
early
can pull
30s.
30 off. You can pull
You can
30.
definitely do 18 to 21 if you shave
Oh
that stash.
no!
Bro, the
Oh,
sta okay, we can leave this stash for the short film, for the proof of concept, we'll leave the stash, but everybody's feedback that all the
if
executives
they
that
say it
see
has
it,
to go, I better get some money in my wallet first before it goes.
how much is your stash worth? That's the question. How much is it worth?
Oh, I need you need to throw a price out there.
If
I love my
somebody
stash.
said, "This is your first movie, Tyler. We're gonna have you star in this movie, this elevated story of truth and real circumstances, but you have to shave that mustache off. What's it gonna cost us? What's your contingency? You're gonna
Well, you
go,
see, I'm a good negotiator here, so I never throw out the first number. I always let
"Hmm,
them throw out the first number first, and then we
you're,
move from there. So,
would $10,000 shave your mustache?
no, if I'm getting
ten
no,
thousand
no,
dollars cold hard
no,
cash in, or how
nah.
about $10,000 in crypto or Tesla stock?
Well, okay, it depends on what the movie is. We got to see what I'm working on. I got to see if I like the concept. I got to like it. My mustache has to like it.
The movie is this. It's a younger brother who looks up to his older brother, and his older brother takes advantage of him by buying this doll and setting it up in different places and scaring him whenever he can to get a good laugh with him and his friends. But then one night,
Based
one
on true
cold,
events.
one not cold, one warm, hot, humid Florida night, the doll's outside in the yard, and the older brother thinks it's going to be funny, but then lightning strikes. And lightning doesn't just strike the doll. Lightning strikes the doll, runs through the ground, and also that same lightning bolt is connected into the bed of the younger brother. So he gets zapped by the same lightning bolt that gives real animated existence to the doll. So now they're connected. So now he can think for the doll. So like he's going to start using his mind to control what the doll does, and then he turns the doll to scare the shit out of his older brother. And his older brother can't believe it because he's like, "Man, this is a big joke, right? This can't be real. Things like this don't exist, right?" He's in complete denial. And here you are teaming up. It's almost like Batman and Robin, you and this doll. And
But
you
it's a
guys
doll.
become you guys
Scary as shit.
become like a dynamic duo of scaring the crap out of the older generation who took advantage and bullied your generation. Boom, movie, sell it.
Uh,
It's so easy. Come on, we can make that right now.
What's it called? What's this movie called?
That's a good question. That's
You
a
really
good
got to
question.
you got to think the title's most important part. That's what
I
gets
was
them.
gonna say dudes and dolls, but
Dudes and dolls. That's gonna be
that sounds like a triple X
I
website.
don't know if
Um,
we could sell that one.
let's come on. We got to come up with a title. What would the title be of
Lightning.
a? It would be called
Lightning.
Hmm.
What in the Friday the 13th, bro? Lightning hits the doll and
Bro, that's the title.
Friday the third. It's the new next Friday the 13th.
No, it's a joke title. It's called What in the Friday the 13th is going on? Something like
Friday the
that.
12th.
Friday the 12th. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Friday the 12th or Thursday the 13th. This is so terrible. I love it. Somebody's going to make this movie. We're going to see it on Netflix
Yeah.
because we don't have the rights to it yet. It's
Yeah,
so
they're gonna steal it right from us, right underneath us.
um all right, what else is going on in the world of pop
Oh,
culture and sports? What's going on in sports?
women's college basketball.
Oh, is off the heezy for sheezy.
Women's college basketball is at places we've never seen sports before. It is
How and
above and
why?
beyond.
What is going on that is putting spectators in the seats? Every dude I know is talking about like the women's league. Like what? Tell me what's happening because I'm not aware.
I don't really know about like actual like the WNBA. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what's happening in the WNBA, but women's college basketball right now in like March Madness, this one girl, Caitlin Clark for Iowa, is like the best, probably the best women's college basketball player we've seen ever. She's like the Michael Jordan, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady of women's basketball.
What kind of numbers is she putting up?
So last night was a humongous game, Iowa versus LSU, which let me give you a little bit of backstory here from last year. These two teams played and it was like a huge rivalry and Iowa lost and LSU won and went on to win the championship. So this was a huge game. And Iowa came out victorious. They won. I think they beat them by like 8. They beat LSU and she dropped like 41 points. Crazy.
Holy
She pulls
cow!
up she pulls up from like 35 feet out, like 4 or 5 feet beyond the 3 point line, and just drains them like Steph Curry out there. It's wild.
What are her measurements? Is she a tall girl? Is she a short girl? Average?
6 foot. I
Wow.
mean, it's tall for yeah, it's tall for a woman, but
I
for
mean,
like
that's probably tall on the average of women because
yeah,
because I think the women average height is probably a little bit shorter than
yeah,
that.
but
But
it's not crazy tall.
right,
It's
it's not like
six
she's
foot. Yeah.
6'6" and she's got like a super unfair advantage. What is
Mm.
it? Is it her work ethic? What's her background? Do we know
She's got
anything?
that. She's got that Mamba mentality, man. She thinks like Kobe, bro. She was talking about it after the games because this was I believe this was the Elite Eight. So they go from this game into the Final Four and then into the championship. So she was like, "Hey," after they won the game, they asked her like, "How you feeling? How you doing? How's this? How's that?" And she's like, "Job ain't finished. Job ain't finished. We ain't done yet. We got 2 more games to go. We got to win that championship." She got that Mamba
Oh,
mentality.
that is tough. That is tough. I like
She's
that.
dirty, man. She's nasty. She drops like 30 to 40 points every single game.
When's the,
She's broken every record.
when's the next game? When can I see her?
Today's Tuesday. Here, I'll tell you 1 second. I think today is the Elite Eight for men's March Madness, and Wednesday, Friday.
Friday.
UConn versus Iowa. That's gonna be a good game. UConn versus Iowa, 9:30. Oh, 6:30 for you.
All right, maybe we should do a Friday podcast rolling into that since we skipped
Should
one last week. Um,
be a good game. I'm gonna be
that's
watching that.
exciting, man. I like that. I like that. What about, let's talk a little boxing for a second. Let's shift topics to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. The young buck, the promotion master himself, Jake Paul, is taking on the icon, the heavyweight champion, arguably, not arguably, the greatest boxer that ever existed, not by record, not by performance, but just by sheer story. You know, this guy has done it all. He continues to do it all. And now he's going to fight a young guy, and he is 57 years old. So, my question is this: are they really going to get after each other? Is Jake really going to try to knock out Mike? Is Mike going to really come for Jake? And if Jake does hurt Mike or knock him down, and
Mm,
this is no stab at Jake, I'm a Jake fan. Does that make him feel anything but shitty knocking out a 60-year-old dude?
I don't think anybody's getting knocked out. I think it's all for money.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
But
it's all for
somebody
money. I
but they
hate
gotta
it.
they gotta show up and throw some blows. This is gonna be millions of dollars on the line,
I
hundreds of
hate
thousands
it.
of people watching. You hate it.
I hate it. I think it personally, excuse my French, but I think it's bullshit. I don't like it whatsoever. I think Mike Tyson, I think he's out here trying to get a bag. Everybody wants to get a bag. I'm fine with Mike Tyson doing his thing. But Jake Paul, what are you doing, brother? What are you doing, man? This guy's double your age. I don't know what you're doing. It doesn't make sense. Go fight somebody your age, bro.
And on top of that, like Mike doesn't need a bag. Like the dude has got bags coming in from all angles. He's got
Yeah.
cannabis companies, he's got podcasts, he's got everything going on. Unless somebody's robbing him again, like it happened early in his career, I can't imagine he needs any more income. So I'm like, oh, did Jake show up and be like, "Hey, Mike, here's 20 million to fight me"? And Mike goes, "Well, I'm not going to walk away from 20 million. That's just bad business for anybody. Even if he
Exactly.
does knock me out, who cares?" But then a long time ago, before Tyson got back in the fight game to fight Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition fight, he came on the Joe Rogan podcast and like a year or two before he even committed to the fight, he was on the podcast talking about doing some drugs and licking frogs and just being Mike, just finding his peace and his solitude. And then, like a year later, the fight was announced. He came back on the Rogan podcast and he was a different person. He was a man possessed. He was scared of his own, like, will to win. Like the boxer was alive very much in Mike Tyson. So, my question is, can Jake handle even a 57-year-old version of a really, really fight ready, mentally fight ready Mike Tyson? Now, that's a different beast. I don't think a lot of fighters even know what that is. And even at 57 years old, you got to look out. Like
Yeah.
Mike, I mean, I see some of these training videos, and you got Mike looking like I
He
don't
looks
even want to
good.
hold the pads for the man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
he looks
saying? If he
good.
misses, you're in the hospital, son. Your neck is tweaked around backwards, spinning in circles. Like, I don't take anything away from Jake. I think Jake is a hustler. He's working hard. He's working out. I do not think he's a
He's a good
natural.
boxer. He's
I don't think
good.
he's a natural boxer, but he is learning
Yeah.
so fast and he's getting so good so quick. I do. I'd like to see him fight somebody younger that's a top 10 maybe or a top
Yeah.
20. Um,
An actual box. Like I understand Mike Tyson's an actual boxer. No disrespect to Mike Tyson, but he's double your age, bro. There's no reason you should be fighting somebody that old. It's embarrassing for yourself. You have to like, come on. I understand you're making a bunch of money, but it's ridiculous. It's
and there's
ridiculous. It's
there's
stupid.
real dangers involved for a guy like Mike. There's real dangers involved for Jake, but for a guy like Mike, the brain at a certain age becomes very not fragile, but it is fragile in the sense that you can't take as much pounding to your
It's a
head.
lot more fragile than a 27-year-old's brain.
Exactly my
Or I think
point.
that's how old he is, something like that.
However old he is, he's worth $27 billion.
Ain't that the
I
truth?
want to announce that fight. I'm sure they're going to get like a Michael Buffer or something, but I would
Oh,
love
100%.
nothing
100%.
more than to stand in the ring in a tuxedo and announce Jake and Mike. That would be
I'm
sick.
excited. Listen, I don't want to, okay, let me not say that. I was going to say real fighting, but not this weekend, but next weekend, UFC 300.
Who do we have?
Um bunch of older names. So I've only like really been in the UFC for like the past year, but all of like the old champions are coming back and they're fighting for the 300th
Come
fight.
on, pull up the card on your phone. I can't because my phone's filming right now. Pull up the
It's
card. I need
crazy. It's
names.
a crazy card.
And I imagine it's in Vegas, right? Is it in Vegas or Dallas?
It is in
It's got to be a big venue.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh, they can't. No, they didn't cancel this.
No way.
Uh, so okay, well let me just say it from the beginning. We got Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill.
Yep.
That's like the newer guys. That's the top.
Pereira's a
Uh,
beast, man. Beast.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Scary
know
man.
Hill. I don't know Hill, but I do know Pereira. Wiley Zhang versus Yang Zia. Okay, these are old girls, but I don't know them. Like I don't know these people, but
I
I don't
just
know
want to see
them.
you try to pronounce their names a couple times.
Sheesh. This is
Justin
getting
Gahey.
yeah.
He's a
And Max
killer.
Holloway.
Two killers. Two
Yeah.
absolute
Yeah.
killers at the peak of their performance. I love those dudes.
Charles Oliveira, Armin Tessert.
Another killer. Oliveira is an absolute
Yeah.
monster.
The boy, Bo Nickel, undefeated. We
Yes,
love Bo
coming in
Nickel.
hot.
Cody Brundage.
Another
And
great.
then there's a bunch of fights under that, but they're not showing me them. But yeah, that's just five.
Man, yeah, so that's awesome. Man, it would be cool to watch it together. Um, Obviously not calling it, but I don't know, maybe we could put something fun together where we I
UFC
don't know.
300 is
Yeah,
wild.
we
That's
do
all I know.
something around the UFC. Wow, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of
Yeah.
I feel like, and here's the other thing. It's already April. We're right around the corner from preseason footballs, dude. Like we're
Isn't
just
yeah, man. The draft's in 23 days. I
no
mean,
way.
yeah, dude, the off season just oh man, the
Let's
time's
talk the
flying.
draft.
This year's going by fast, bro. We're already in April. It's crazy. We're almost a freaking third into the year.
Now,
Wild.
do you think it's going by fast because you're getting older or you're doing a lot and you're staying busy? Just
Staying busy.
curious. Yeah.
Staying busy. I'm always busy. Never not doing something.
And this is how it goes, like as being your older brother, like this is what's up, man. Life starts flying by. And so here I go on a spiritual tangent. Don't get caught up in anything that happened yesterday, wins or losses, and don't think about what you got to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this week. Just focus on today and expend all of your energy and will and power and well-being on this moment right here today, because this is what happens, man. Shit just starts flying by. I'm like, man, I've been a dad for 10 years.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, my
That's
kid's
why. That's
9
crazy.
years old. Like he does like,
That's I was looking at old pictures while I was in the Keys. I was looking at old pictures of me freaking holding him as a baby, and I was like, "What? That don't look nothing like him. I think they might have switched him out or something. That don't
dude, I
look right."
came across a picture the other day of you and him like watching TV in your bed in Florida,
Yes,
like
I
hanging,
saw that. Yeah,
and you're like eating a bag of chips, and I was like,
yeah,
I looked at him and I was like, oh my gosh,
crazy,
that is just a smaller version of what he's going to be by the age of 18, like sitting there eating chips in
crazy.
bed. We
Time's a
are
wild thing.
we are going to Legoland for him. We're taking him to Legoland. First time for the whole family to go down. He's a big Lego guy.
Sick.
We're staying in the Lego Hotel or whatever it is down in San Diego.
That's
And
dope.
he's jacked up. So Mandy put like a pamphlet of like, hey, you're going to Legoland in an Easter egg and hid it as one of the eggs, like
Oh,
on,
he didn't know. He didn't know.
had no idea till Easter, and he was
Oh,
opening in
that's
his eggs.
awesome.
Yeah, and he unfolded his thing, and he was like, "What? We're going to."
Oh, that's sick. That's got to make you feel so good from like the dad, like the father perspective. That's got
You
to feel
just
great. That young joy.
it's the coolest part about having kids is, and I know you probably heard this and you'll say it yourself one day when you have a kid, but like watching them experience all the shit you've already experienced and enjoyed, you get to rewatch it. Like even as simple as a fucking cookie or a strawberry, like the first time they
Yeah.
eat it and you're like, that's the first time he's
Yeah.
having that shit, man.
It's
Like
crazy. It's insane.
it's
It's gotta be
so
great to
cool.
watch.
Yeah, man. Being a parent is no doubt hard. It's no doubt difficult. You no doubt worry, but like the plus side of it is so gigantic. It's so if you're there for it, right? If you take the
Yeah.
time to like look at your kid and go, "Wow, that's my kid. He's experiencing this stuff." And like, take it in on a spiritual level. It's so awesome. It's like the
Mhm.
thing that I'm most proud of is that I'm related to him, that I get to be part of that dude's family.
Dude,
He's
you made that little dude. That's isn't that just a crazy? That's just
it's so much more, right? And I always say,
yeah.
like, Mandy is a superhero, and mothers are superheroes for not only what they do to protect and raise up their child, but Mandy made a person in her stomach. The only thing I do in my stomach is pretty much put food in it and then drop food out of it. Like,
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know?
Yeah, it's the what men have to do. Like not taken away from us at all. We're like everybody's got troubles. Everything's difficult. Life is hard.
Sure.
But women, it's just such a precious, awesome thing what they're able to do. That it's just awesome. I don't know.
I
The
mean,
bringing new life into the world is such a cool thing.
like not to get religious about it, but people will say like it's a miracle, like getting pregnant, having a baby, it is a miracle. And if you think about the fact, like, and this is the Neil deGrasse Tyson coming out of me right now. If you don't know who he
I know,
is,
I already know.
he's the man.
It's the
But he
best.
knows everything about space, and he breaks down how simply that, like, from the beginning of time, people on a cellular level are made out of the exact same thing as stars, and we're all stardust essentially. So to think Mandy or moms can make people out of their own stardust in their body and
It's
then grow it, right? Like from one
yeah, yeah,
cell, and
yeah,
the
yeah.
cell splits and it does all this crazy stuff. And then that baby lives off of their body like a host is just
It's
nothing I
crazy.
do ever, no matter what the achievement is in my life, will never touch the vision that I have of Mandy being able to create this
Yeah.
amazing being. And then not only that, like stay committed and dedicated to being a good mom and a positive influence no matter what's going on in her life. Like, dude, it's the best. She's the best. He's the best. I'm just lucky to be involved with those two's life. They're rad.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the whole like the miracle of birth, like the miracle of like being able to produce a human is kind of like lost on like Western civilization. We've kind of lost that over time. It's not like, wow, you're able to create a human. It's like, oh, we're having a baby, you know. It's that's the thing, boy or girl, haha, you know. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not. We don't appreciate as much as we should.
People don't slow down enough to think of this conversation that we're having, right? They go, oh boy, we're pregnant. Let's start saving money. Let's start decorating the nursery. Let's schedule, the
Which, but
hospital.
but you do also have to think about that. It's you got to balance it.
You do. And 100% that's normal. But I want to remind parents and future parents out there to stop and watch your newborn baby grow. I remember Mandy would sit in the rocking chair with Macklin when he was like a month old. And when babies are born, they see like blurry. They're almost foggy for a while. They
Yeah.
can't see well. So I would sit in front of him on my knees on the floor, and Mandy would have him on his lap, and he would just look at me. And I swear I could look into his eyes like it was the universe and feel like I saw him growing in those moments. It was amazing. But we
Crazy.
don't, there's so much consumerism surrounding birth and bringing a baby into the world, right? We got to have a baby shower. We got to buy this, money that. We're worried about this. Is the hospital going to be? You have to just realize and slow yourself down enough to go, holy cow, we're making a person. A
Yeah.
person is going to be in our lives that all of a sudden now you're doing another person's laundry that didn't exist yesterday. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It's wild. Oh, it's insane.
The miracle of life, man. We're so lucky to
Yeah.
be here. And I talk about it. I do these like Instagram cold plunge videos, and I send the full video out to my subscribers on Instagram. And I'm often talking about just we're so lucky to wake up each day. Like when I get in the cold water, I'm now over 90 days in this year, not missing a cold plunge any day except for when I was in Australia and I took cold showers there. But every day staying committed to this. And as soon as I wake up, the first thought in my head is I don't want to do this shit. Like I don't want to do it because I put myself out there on Instagram. It holds me accountable. And then as second I get in that water, my body wants to go, what are you grateful for? You should be grateful that you're even able to walk out of your bedroom and get in this water and challenge yourself and then overcome. And it unfolds, unbags a mass amount of gratitude. And that's why I keep doing it. It's like I'm addicted to feeling grateful. And if I don't get in the water and I don't prove to myself that I can overcome something difficult, I feel like it's harder for me to get to gratitude. But if I do it and I look into the phone and I'm talking to people at home and I'm hoping to affect one person, I feel so lucky to be able to do that. I feel lucky that there's an Instagram, there's a social network that
Yeah.
you could do that for. And, man, have an attitude of gratitude. It's really just the way to live. Speaking of
Okay.
which, when are we going? This is just random, but what are your thoughts on tattoos?
Dude, okay, so I've been talking to some people and I'm like, where do you think I should get my first tattoo? And I'm like, I'm thinking my thigh. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I want to go thigh.
Thigh is a cool spot. It's a trendy spot. When I did my thigh, it wasn't a trendy spot. I literally did it so I can hide it from people under my shorts. And now it's halfway down past my knee and going to the ankle. Um, I have a great tattoo artist out here. Do you have any idea of the imagery?
No, I'm like going between like just a bunch of like, oh, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that's meaningful. Oh, I kind of like that. Oh, maybe I should put a quote. Oh, I like that. It's so many different things. But and you gotta, it's like, oh, this is gonna be on my body forever. I
Yeah.
have to make like the right decision. It's difficult.
So now they have temporary tattoos that you
Yeah,
can get,
that's what I've been looking into. Yeah.
and it's worth it. It's so worth it because number one, they look real. Number two, they last like 3 to 6 weeks. And number whatever comes next, number C, you can test out any art you want. So
Yeah.
literally draw something, scan it, and they make that a tattoo, or find any image of anything you want. I'm thinking about two new tattoos, actually three. So my artist will allow Mandy to tattoo me. So I want to give her the ability to do any tattoo she wants. And then I think I'm gonna get a real life, um, like a real life image of Zero, like because I
Oh,
always
that'd be dope. That'd be
like
sick.
just like
That'd be
him, like
sick.
one ear down, one
That'd
ear
be
up,
sick.
like on my
Yes.
calf. And then also I want to do a supernatural tattoo, which is kind of crazy because the actors know that there's many fans out there that we see at conventions, they have supernatural tattoos, but there's a saying in the supernatural world that I like a lot, and a lot of people have it already tattooed on them, but I would probably be the first ever supernatural actor to ever get a tattoo from the show. But family don't end with blood is the line. And I find it real powerful because, I've been out here in California 20 years and no family, just, me, Mandy, and Macklin. And the support system around me has, they've always been there and they've always showed up for me in huge ways. And it's just nothing resonates more than that kind of quote, the family don't end with blood.
Yeah.
Um,
That's such a huge part of your life too, Supernatural. They've done so much for you and like just everything.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I've done 3 episodes as an actor, 1 episode as a director, but almost 200 conventions, which have paid
Yeah.
the bills for years, kept me alive in between acting jobs, and
Got
not
you
only
and
that, filled my
allowed you to see some
soul.
crazy places too.
Yeah,
That's
I've
yeah.
been to Rome like 10 times, Australia, all over the place, but not only does it fill my breadbasket and support my family, and we're grateful for that, but it fills me up inside to like meet people that want to share their stories and look at me and go, hey, because of you and this storyline, and they'll show me their arms and go, I stopped cutting myself, or I, did this or did that, whatever the positive thing is.
Yeah.
And there is a great give and take on a convention stage if you allow it. If you're not just there trying to phone it in and get money, if you go there with the intent of affecting people and letting people affect you, man, it fills you up in like a therapeutic way that there's no therapist out there could ever understand, right? Because you talk to a therapist, you sit in a room, you tell them your things, they challenge your perspective, and they're like, maybe try it this way, or maybe let this in. But when you're in front of 1,000 people and somebody yells, hey, you're an asshole, don't say that, you're like, that's real time feedback,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And that's just the way to go. And then it goes the other way, right? You meet these people that are breaking down, crying, sharing their stories of their new friends or their old friends they lost. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, I'm Supernatural is such a big part of my life. I'm doing like 15 conventions this year, and you're gonna meet a lot of the,
yeah.
we got, let's see. So I'm going to Rome as the next convention, and then we are going to be in Jersey, you and I,
Yeah.
May
When is
17th,
yeah.
18th, and 19th, give or take a day on each end, but around there. And then the Austin trip
Is not for
is
a while. It's like
August.
yeah.
But in between that, so there's Jersey in May, and then Ohio and Seattle in June, and then
Seattle's cool.
San Fran in July, and then Austin and Indianapolis in August. So you should
Jeez.
be on all these because we should be live casting our podcast from the vendor's room in between the other stuff I have to do. And I think it'll be a ball in combination, like we said before. meeting people, like going to their
Yeah,
house for a barbecue, going to the comedy club,
good.
going to the local bars, like seeing the spots and really creating the Co-Bros on the road show. And I can't stop thinking about it. I'm so excited to hit the road with you, man, and make some memories and make some
Me sick.
questionable decisions, you know?
Questionable decisions, yes.
Um, what else, man? What else is going on over there on in Florida? What anything new? Anything being built? Any new stuff I need to know about?
I'm watching Game of Thrones. I told you this already, but I'm getting deep into it now.
Now, are you going to go? Mandy just brought this up last night, the spin-off of Game of Thrones. I think it's called House of Dragon.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue and
Yeah.
where are
Yeah.
you at? How far are you in?
I am about to finish season 3. I'm like zooming through it.
Okay. And where do you love it? Are you a
Oh,
Jason
it's
Momoa
amazing.
fan?
It's amazing. See, he's like only in it for like 4 or 5 episodes and then he's done.
Bro, you got to look up his audition tape for that role.
Was that his like first big role? Was that like his first big
It
thing?
was, I think he had done some stuff, but that really put him on the map because he
Yeah.
brought some embodiment and some physicality to that character that I think nobody else could have brought to it. And then you go to look up, I always love to see an audition tape, right? Two audition tapes I'll tell you to look at that you'll really appreciate because I know you've seen the movies. So Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams have an audition for The Notebook.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen that one. I feel like I've seen that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
It is so beautiful. And then Momoa's got this incredible audition where he does, and I don't want to talk about it incorrectly, so I won't try to pronounce what the like native dance kind of chant thing he does from like his background. He does it in the room as like a I'm getting into character or offering this to the character type
Yeah.
of thing. And you, when you see his commitment to how he does it, you're like, nobody else could have played the character. Not even close. It's wild.
It's sick. It's a really great show. They spend a lot of money on that. They have to have spent a lot of money on that show. There's the sets are crazy. The outfits are insane. Everything's crazy about it. CGI is great.
Yeah. And you have to imagine like everything about that show was created and designed. Like none of it
Yeah.
is in existence. Like every
So
hair, makeup, wardrobe, lighting expert, set designer, art designer, like the names, the sentences, the stuff they say that you can barely understand,
oh,
all a whole universe created
yeah.
out of some people's mind. It's
It's
incredible.
awesome. It's awesome. I really like it. I'm gonna probably by the time I'm done with it, it'll probably end up being the best show I've ever watched. I like it's that good. It's
That's
pretty
only
amazing.
because you haven't seen The Wire yet.
You know, watch the first couple episodes, man. I know I got to give it more of a chance, but it might be a little too old for me. It might be a little outdated.
What about Breaking Bad? I think that's one of the best series ever made.
Breaking Bad, I got to rewatch it because I've watched it like 3 or 4 times, like the entire thing. And I don't know. I'm watching Game of Thrones now, and I don't know, man.
What about Entourage? Have you ever seen Entourage, which is
I've heard
very
of it. I
different?
haven't seen it. I've seen like bits and pieces.
Entourage was a series I watched with my old roommate. Man, rest in peace. Damn, it's crazy to think about that. And my roommate passed away a little while ago, but him and I would watch every episode of Entourage, and it's not like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad. It is a kind of behind the scenes look at a young actor coming up in Hollywood and being a star and his kind of little circle of friends. And the agent character played by Jeremy Piven, the character I think is Ari Gold, is based on a real guy. And he just does such a knock-up job playing it. Is the most irritating agent performance ever, but also like give him all the awards. He was so good at it. Um, but it's easy to watch. The episodes are short, and it's really a kind of like inside baseball look at Hollywood and acting because everything in it is some one half step away from reality, which is wild when you
Gotta
watch it.
watch it. There's so many good shows out there. I'm watching at the same time I'm watching Succession. Succession's good.
Oh, Succession
Succession's
is, and
good.
I've only seen like an episode or two because when I was at ET, we had to cover it, but it is profound. Like that is a great.
It's funny. It's like I don't know what type of show it's supposed to be. I feel like it's supposed to be kind of like The Office, like a comedy sort of like reality TV fake, not really reality TV comedy. I don't know. It's funny. I love
Right.
it. It's good.
Mockumentary style, I guess
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it might
yeah,
be what
yeah.
it's called, I think. I don't know.
Something like that. It's
Um,
good. Funny.
I want to do an animated show. I reached out to this artist who's a friend of mine. I'm hoping to work with. He does the Invincible animation for this show called Invincible, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, we got to come together on a kids show. I need to do something with kids. It's all I can think about is like, and I'm also pissed off a little bit because I sit down with Macklin, and I love the action genre. Like I'm just whatever's action, like John Wick, I want to be able to create environments that are wild and weird and quirky within action. There's no kids action that's not rated R without
Yeah, there
blood,
is no
guts, and
kids
guns.
action.
So I am in the process of trying to create some sort of kids TV show that is like true action based, but the kids are the action stars. And so like right now I'm torn between a couple of ideas, but I'm like
Hi, kids.
there's the genre doesn't exist. Like not campy action, not action made to be like almost a animated film, but
Yeah.
like a real live action show like Lethal Weapon or Die Hard or John Wick, but minus the bad
Kids.
words,
Yeah.
minus the guts, gore, and guns. And I think I can still do it, and I think I can make it awesome. And I think kids would want to see it and want to be part of it, which is even more, more special. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I got all
Interesting.
sorts of ideas, man. I'm endless. I got if I turn the camera around, you'll see I have like 3 pads and like 75 post-its just with ideas all around. Every day I like add to one idea and then I hate that idea. I just my desk,
I got the
my
same
mind,
thing. I
dude,
got
my
the same thing.
mind.
I have to have two desks now. I got my streaming desk here, and then I got another desk over there where I just throw post-it notes on. I'm like, oh, this is a good idea. Let me write that down.
Yeah, always write down your ideas.
Oh,
Always keep pads and
always.
papers because
Always.
they're fleeting and even if you keep them in your phone, you won't really look at them. So I always say
I
write it
never
on a piece of paper.
I could never do that. There's people who do that. They'll like do the phone thing, and I just can't do it. I'm old fashioned. I like the paper. I like to put it on a piece of paper.
And I have like 100 pages of notes in my phone, but I forget to look at them. And then every 6 months,
Yeah.
I sit on the couch and eat a gummy, and I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god, these ideas are amazing.
I forgot about these, dude.
Yeah,
It happened to me, bro. I was looking through my old notes from like high school and shit. I used to like write down like, um, what did I used to do? I used to have this TV class where we used to have to write like a script every week or every other week.
sure.
And dude, I just had so many ideas written down. I'm like, whoa, these are good.
Yeah,
Interesting.
listen, elaborate on them. You never know. Like, nurture all of your little figments of your imagination and your ideas because it can grow into something. And all you need is a 1 page pitch, which is easy to write. A 1 page pitch that you can sell a project without a script. Or a buddy of mine, you may have seen him. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but his name's Adam Rose, and he plays this character called the Blue Cardigan Guy, and he basically is just reacting to funny stuff, but he's like plays like a dad kind of, just it's a really funny character. He created a trailer, just a trailer, a 2 3 minute trailer based on his character, and somebody paid him to write the movie based on that trailer. So if you can come up with a good enough concept and we can shoot a trailer, you can sell the idea before writing 100 pages of a script. It's pretty wild.
Mm. I, dude, it's a crazy world that you can make anything. Everything is content. That's the great thing about the world we live in. I think you can make content out of everything.
Yes, but good content is few and far between. And the content that people just absorb every day, like, yeah, it's good and it's fulfilling to a point. But when you sit down and you have that real big movie experience or that good Game of Thrones TV show experience, there's nothing like it.
Mm-mm.
It's clear that it took millions of dollars and hundreds of people to make that shit. And
Yeah.
that is the beauty of Hollywood. And Hollywood's changing a lot right now, but it's still the one thing you'll never be able to take, not AI, not anybody, away from Hollywood is the creative ability of a human being and the nuance that we all have, right? Like humans feel in a way no AI will ever understand.
Mm-mm.
Even if you try to copy or mimic your favorite Meryl Streep performance or pick your actor, AI is never going to be able to steal that from Hollywood. Hollywood's got a creative, nuanced ability, and the artists here are special. Not just Hollywood, but the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking
so
of
yeah,
entertainment, I watched Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Or Wonka, not Willy Wonka.
I
Wonka.
like that you have a little bit of suspect look on your face when you say that. Continue.
Um,
When was the last time you watched the first one?
long time, but the first one's amazing. The first one's one of the best movie. Amazing.
You got to watch them back to back. You got to watch Chalamet and then Wilder back to back.
It's just like, what's the
Go
word?
ahead.
What's
I'm
the
going to
word?
talk you out of whatever you don't like about it. So tell me,
A lot of a lot of singing, a lot of
it's
singing,
a
which is
musical piece.
okay. But like, I feel like we could have. I wanted to see a little bit more of, I don't know, like the actual story of how like everything actually happened. Like at the end of the movie, they kind of just like skip to, oh, let's just CGI the whole entire thing altogether. I kind of wanted to see more of how everything was built. I know that's a little not what the movie is. I understand that that's not what the movie was or what it was supposed to be,
If
but
you
I don't know.
watch them back to back, you will go, "Oh wow." Number first and foremost, technology has changed so much. So
Yeah,
it's hard to
yeah,
watch a
a
prequel
lot
and
of
then
yeah.
watch the other one because it's so old and it's all, like a set. There's not CGI in it. But you'll go, wow, look at the connections, right? There are so many connections and Easter eggs that you didn't even pick up on. I promise you, watching the Chalamet version, you will pick up on if you see them back to back. Also, not taking anything away from either movie, or is this a public service announcement that you should smoke pot, but to have a little bit of cannabis in your system
It
through
probably would have been. It probably would have been a little bit better.
you really you just enjoy
It
it.
probably would have been a top five movie.
And if you're eating some chocolate also while you're
Yeah,
watching, you got to put
it
yourself in
probably
the
would have
right
been a little
mindset.
bit better. I
Did you
just
did you watch it with dad? Was dad what did
I
dad
did. I
watch it?
did. Dad watched it. Dad
And did he
watched it.
complain about it?
Yeah, he was like he loved the first one as well. And it's just I felt that the first one did it so perfect. They did it so good. And I feel like this one a little bit I think they should have stepped away a little bit from the CGI. I feel like they should have like maybe built some real sets. I don't know. I feel like that would have been a little bit better. I don't really like CGI. I hate it, to be honest. I like
Yeah.
the old fashioned, we got a set, it's real, makes you feel something. That's what I like.
Yeah,
But
no doubt about it. I am a CGI fan to a point, but I love a practical built set that I know people banged in nails and cut wood to
yeah,
make, and and it is a thing that exists in real life. I think that's cool.
exactly. Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah, all
bad.
right. So I hate
Wasn't
you for
bad.
not liking that movie.
Wasn't terrible. I mean, I'd
I
rather watch
watched
the
it
first
again
one.
this week. Like, I love it so much. And it also could be because it's coinciding with me creating a cookbook right now, which a large part of the cookbook are like no sugar added desserts. So it's a lot of like chocolate I'm dealing with and different things. And so I don't know. I think I feel a little bit like Willy Wonka.
I'm trying to remember. I can't like I watched it like 2 weeks ago now, so I'm trying to remember more. I remember when I was watching, I was like, I got so many things to say to Matthew about this. I got so many things to say. I got so many different takes.
Did you go fishing in the Keys? Not to change the subject, but change the subject.
We were going to, but no,
You didn't go fishing. Did you rent some wave runners or sea
I
doos?
didn't do nothing, brother. I sat there in the sun. I baked like a little potato.
You look like you put your sunscreen on because you're not bright red.
No, dude, you get burnt one time. You go down to the beach one time during spring break when you're 15 years old and you burn
Yeah.
like red like a tomato. You'll put on sunscreen for the rest of your life. That's how I
Yes,
am. I cover my entire body with sunscreen.
that is true, and it is important. Sunburn sucks. Um,
Terrible.
all right, well, shit, we've been on here about an hour. I need to go eat some lunch. Anything else we should talk about and cover before we
We
take
hit
off?
we hit some good topics. We hit all the important stuff.
We should talk about DJ Khaled. We didn't mention him at all.
We have to mention him once every time.
DJ Khaled, we love you, and we're sharing our fan love from afar because now it is a continuing storyline to mention you and all your greatness consistently on our website or on our podcast for no reason whatsoever. So,
We got you with the
DJ
free
Khaled, you're the
advertisement.
man. God did. And also he has two Drake tracks on his new album.
You have to say that every single.
He is not a sponsor.
DJ Khaled paid for all of this. He did everything. We owe it all to
DJ
DJ
Khaled,
Khaled.
we're paying it forward. All right, people, we're out of here. I'm MC on the mic, and that's.
I'm the Tico Fantasy Show, and yeah.
We'll see you soon, folks. Peace.